And this is a Fox News alert. Congress has passed legislation tonight to raise the debt limit, reopen the government, and the bill is now on the way to the White House for the president's signature. The bill reopens the government through January the 15th. Then we can come back and fight all over again. Also allows the Treasury to borrow money through February the 7th. Then we can fight about that again. And joining us now with reaction, Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Senator, good to see you. We can kick the can down the road one more time. What do you think?
Well, first of all, this 10 o'clock slot's past my bedtime, so we're going to have to work on that in the future.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, Sean, this, congratulations on the new show, but, the problem here is this. We've dealt with this again tonight is the end of this latest Washington-manufactured, Harry Reid-manufactured crisis, but the real crisis facing our country is still there. We have a national debt that now is going to be over $17 trillion, and there is not a single plan in place to address it. We have a disastrous health care law that's going to be hurting real people in dramatic ways. Right now, ObamaCare, for many Americans, it's just a website that doesn't work. But in a few weeks and a few months, it's going to start directly impacting millions and millions of people, costing them their existing coverage, costing them hours at work, moving them from full-time to part-time, costing them their relationship with their doctor. The list goes on and on. We have done nothing to address these things, and now apparently January will be, or February will be the date when we address it. And the truth is, in the meantime, you have millions of Americans that feel like they're running in place. They're working hard, they're trying to get ahead, but they can't find a job, or the job they have doesn't pay enough. And no one up here seems to think about it. It's just oblivious to it. It's just a political process that's oblivious to this reality.
I was just talking to the cameraman that is literally in front of me right here, except behind the camera.
Yeah.
He just told me his premium went up from $1,400 to $2,100, a far cry from saving $2,500 a year.
Right.
And his benefits are far less than what he had. And there's example after example. Do you think that this reality creates a backlash, the way the website rollout created a bit of a backlash?
Well, the reality is going to create a huge backlash. And, there's precedent for this. Back in the late 80s, they passed a Medicare bill around here that they had to come back a year later and scramble to get rid of because people started to see what the reality of it was. You've highlighted one of those realities. There will be many others. Imagine for a moment if you are watching this program tonight and you are covered by health insurance, and you like your health insurance, and you're happy with that health insurance, and while you think it's a little bit too high, at least it hasn't gone higher. Now, guess what? It's going to be taken away from you. You could lose that health care coverage because it doesn't meet the parameters of ObamaCare. That is a fundamental promise the president made, which has been broken, that if you were happy with your health coverage, you got to keep it. That's not going to happen. And again, we have missed a golden opportunity to do something about it, but we haven't given up the fight. The one thing I want people to understand is they should not feel depressed about this or discouraged about the long term of it. We are going to prevail on this issue. It is just a matter of time. We will prevail because Obamacare is going to be a disaster, and it won't be long before many people in this town will be scrambling to try to fix it or get rid of it.
I actually agree with you. I think it will collapse of its own weight. I think it is unsustainable. I think people are going to the sticker shock is now beginning to sink in, and I think the care is even going to be worse than the computer rollout. There's a lot of characters in this play that we've been watching unfolding the last couple of weeks. You got the Democrats. Their holy grail has always been health care. That's why they wouldn't negotiate. The media, which is in their pocket. And then you've got the establishment, I would argue, Republicans, led by people like McCain and Bob Corker. They wouldn't hold strong on this. They didn't want to draw a line in the sand on this, and they wanted to protect the bureaucracy. And then they got guys like you and Rand and Mike Lee and Ted Cruz. Why do I think you guys are the new emerging voice of conservative in the country and in the Senate? And I think for those guys that didn't like what you guys were doing here, they better get used to it. Is that a fair assessment or no?
Sean, let me just say there's no doubt it's been well documented that there's been a tactical difference of opinion about the right way to approach this issue. But I think at this point, for the good of our country, it is important for Republicans and independents that identify with us on this issue to try to come together and come up with a winning strategy to address this moving forward.
What would it be? What is it? How do you get John McCain on board?
Well, here's what's going to happen, okay? By the early part of next year, February, March, April, and May of next year, and I know that sounds like a long time away, but it's not, the realities of this law are going to begin to impact people. So right now, people are hearing about Obamacare. Maybe a few people, a lot of people are being affected by it, but we're talking about millions of people starting early next year are going to be directly impacted by what this law. And a lot of people are going to wake up and realize, hold on a second, this is not free health insurance. This is something that's going to cost us something we're already happy with. It's hurt us at work. It's cost us our relationship relationship with our doctor. Our premiums have gone up, and they're going to be angry about that. There is going to be an all-out revolt in this country over that. And that is, I think, the moment to absolutely act and say we're going to get rid of this law and then look for opportunities in the future to replace it with better ideas that address our significant health insurance problem, but not this way, not through this massive government intervention into 1/6 of our economy.
That's why I supported you guys for fighting here. And that's why tactically, strategically, it would have been good politics. But, you know, sometimes, I guess even with your kids, people have to experience a certain amount of pain to wake up to the reality of what's coming.
You know, Sean, it's one of the legitimate powers of Congress is to refuse to fund things or to fund things that we agree with, okay? That is a legitimate power. It belongs to the Congress under the Constitution. Why would I support spending a penny more on a program that I know for a fact is so painful, hurtful, and disastrous for the American economy and for the fundamentals of the American dream? That was a very legitimate goal to begin to chase, and I hope we will revisit it, because there will come a time here fairly soon where there will be millions and millions of people, including those who don't agree with us now, who will be begging to be let out from under this law.
I think you're right. Senator, good to see you. Thanks so much for putting up the fight.
Hey, can I wish my wife a happy anniversary?
The fact that you're here with me instead of her, that was almost as bad a choice as McCain's. Happy anniversary, Mrs. Rubio.
Thank you.